All right, greetings, family. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing absolutely fine, as I am. It's a beautiful Wednesday. We're alive. We're on this side of the dirt, so let's make it happen. Of course, this is Professor Griff, and of course, this is Black Power Media. Some say Black Power Media Reloaded. However you lock, load, recycle it, doesn't matter. We're gonna pass the ammo because we're arming the masses with information. We're arming the masses so they can not only know who they are, but what's going on in the world, whether it's locally, globally, however you want to view it. It's a beautiful thing that we're here. All right. In the meantime, between time, let me play this quick commercial, and then we're going to dive into some other things. And my subject today is we're going to talk about making a U-turn in traffic jams. All right. You want to know what that really means? Stay tuned. I'll be right back to explain it. All right. If you could just sit tight for 1 second. All right, 1 second. 1 second. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting the cells and increasing the neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. You can order the Serious Minds Brain Tonic right here on www.debbiestribewellness.com and or text me 678-557-2919. Peace. All right, those of y'all that just tuning in, this is Professor Griffin. Of course, this is Black Power Media Reloaded. And I just want to let y'all know, Saturday, October 4th, 1 p.m., I will be doing a talk, a discussion, a Q&A on my book, The Birth. All right. We're going to talk about the art of storytelling. We're going to talk about what it actually means to have a birthing song to follow you during the whole entire lifespan of your life. I guess I could put it that way. It's at the House of Ogun, 4720 Bryce Drive, Union City, Georgia. Sounds far, but it's not far. My phone number is 678-557-2919. What does it cost to get in? Just your presence. If you feel like you want to donate, donate. If you want to donate to the platform, my information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It's Cash App, $Professor Griff, and of course, PayPal.me/Professor Griff Corp. And if you're in the mood to listening and purchasing music and archiving it and making it part of your life, let me give you all Soleil's website. All right, for her Encoded album that she's re-releasing on wax. You can get the CD, and of course, you can get the booklet, the whole package, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing she's doing. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. What site is it? I think it's this site. Go to www.devitribewellness.com. www.devitribewellness.com. And of course, if you would like any of my material, whether it's children's book, now you know. Yeah, you have to get now you know. It's just one of those kind of things you have to get. Now you know. If you want to get my book, The Birth, or the ebook, you can do that. All right. If you want to take a firearms class, firearms safety and training class, you can do just that. I have a couple of pop-ups coming up, and that's what we're literally going to do. We're going to do an online pop-up. Participate, whether it's preparedness, whether it's aspects of firearms training or self-defense, whether it's a songwriting class or a music business workshop class. Make sure y'all stay tuned. All right. I did the songwriters workshop. We're going to revisit, and we're going to revisit the music business 101 workshop. We're going to revisit the firearms classes. All right. And we're just going to take a deeper dive, especially in the music. Make sure you'll go to Devi Tribe Wellness, or just go to Soleil's site. All right. IamSoleil.com. All right. And of course, you can pick up Rebel Alchemy by yours truly, myself, and Soleil. Pick up the EP. Let me know what you think. All right. In the meantime, in between time, all right, you can get all of that at www.publicnme.me. All right. Easy to remember. It's not difficult. All right. And or you could go to www.professorgriff.bandcamp.com. All right. All right. dive into this subject and see where we can kind of end up. So someone asked me, what does that title mean? How can you make a U-turn in traffic? Of course, you already heard by now that the pressure was put on Disney, all right, I think which is the parent corporation, and an ABC affiliate stations told Jimmy Kimmel Live that they will be off the air for an indefinite period of time, and then they brought him back due to the backlash of Captain Kirk information that was put out there. They're hailing this particular individual simply because it's in a very disrespectful way to us as a people, simply because they was comparing this individual to a Dr. Martin Luther King, which I thought was kind of sad and trifling and a few other goddamn things. So let me see. I might have found some stuff that you might be interested in. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can locate it real quick. You know, you find stuff a couple of days ahead of time. You just say, oh, that'd be cool to play on the show. Let me see. What is it talking about? All right. Hold on. Whoa, this might be it. Nope. Is it? Let's try it. Hold on. Let's see.
To Jeffrey Epstein, Donald.
Nope, not that
Erica
one.
Kirk has
not her.
Just doesn't get it. The left just doesn't get it. He was literally this generation's Martin Luther King Jr. Yikes. That's what my neighbor said. That makes sense. Why? He literally was. You just hate to admit it. He had the courage to say things, even if it meant getting canceled or attacked or literally murdered, just like MLK. Well, I don't need to disparage the dead, especially in a public video, right? But I do want to tell you a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. Whatever, if this will make you feel better. Then at the end, I think you can tell me why Charlie Kirk is the modern day version of him. Let's start with education. Dr. King started college when he was 15 years old. He got his Bachelor of Arts at Morehouse, then his Bachelor of Divinity, and then his PhD in sociology from Boston University. All by the time he was 25. He was arrested and jailed nearly 30 times for civil disobedience and also completely bullshit made up charges. He spent over 100 days total in jail, including 8 days in Birmingham jail, which is where he wrote his famous letter from Birmingham jail. He was the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner of his era at 35 years old. Then he took the winnings and donated it all, $500,000 today, to the civil rights movement. He personally met with U.S. presidents, so did not to campaign for them, to advocate for change, and world leaders, including the Pope. He led the Montgomery bus boycott for 381 days, during which time his house was firebombed with his wife and baby daughter inside. Pretty crazy. And when an angry group gathered outside of his house, he convinced them not to retaliate. He drew 250,000 people to the March on Washington, which is where he delivered his I Have a Dream speech, pushing the Voting Rights Act of 1964 forward. By 1965, he was receiving an average of 40 death threats every day. His family said they lived with the phone ringing at all hours of the night. His activism is tied to two of the most transformative laws in U.S. history. His nonviolent approach influenced activists worldwide. He opposed the Vietnam War way before it was popular to do so, knowing it would lose him a lot of political influence. And of course, like Charlie, he was then assassinated. So do you understand why it might be offensive to people when you compare his legacy to that of a 31-year-old man who traveled the country debating college kids? The left just doesn't get it. He was literally just doesn't get it.
Yeah, that kind of summed it up. Thanks, white woman I don't know on Instagram. Yeah, that kind of sums it up. You cannot compare a community college dropout to the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't like this square box thing here. Maybe y'all can help me out. I like the circle thing better. I don't know how my circle thing went away, but we're going to find the circle thing again because this is not cool. All right. I got a few more clips to play because I think I was on a roll. I was kind of doing my little thing while I was cleaning up. So then
Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and the state of Israel.
Hold on.
Erica Kirk has
this one. Do I want to play that one? Hold on. Not that one.
We're starting to see Erica Kirk or whatever, she's coming out. We're coming out where we're seeing the news about the trafficking out of her ministry in Romania that was tied to the United States government.
Chickens are coming home to roost.
And now we're also looking at One Child Global and Compassion International. I mean, these very large charities are operating in every single known trafficking hotspot on the planet. Okay, and they have Jesus brand marketing. And so we talk about Satan masquerading as light. Well, it's important to pay attention, you guys, and start digging. Okay, these people are evil. Glory be to God. So we're starting to see Erica Kirk or whatever. She's coming out. We're coming out where we're seeing the news about the trafficking out of her ministry in Romania that was tied to the United States government. And now we're also looking at One Child Global and Compassion International. I mean, these very large charities are operating in every single known trafficking hotspot on the planet. Okay, and they have Jesus brand marketing. And so we talk about Satan masquerading as light. Well, it's important to pay attention, you guys, and start digging. Okay, these people are evil. Glory be to God. So we're starting to see Erica Kirk or whatever. She's coming out. We're coming out where we're seeing the news about the trafficking out of her ministry in Romania that was tied to the United States government.
I decided today to let them tell it. This is why I said you can't make a U-turn in traffic. You can, but you might run into ongoing traffic. And I think that's what happened with the Jimmy Kimmel situation. I think what happened simply because the people stood up and the affiliate, the ABC affiliates tell station owners formal guidance from Disney/ABC is forthcoming on the future programming of Jimmy Kimmel, yada, yada, yada. Whoop, y'all already understand what it's about because we all seen it way before I came on it to kind of talk about it. But the reality of it is, and it's a very real kind of thing, Jimmy Kimmel is coming on tonight, I think. Yeah. And how did they make that decision? I think the people were canceling Hulu. They was canceling Disney trips, canceling Disney vacations, canceling all the Disney, everything that Disney had to offer. People were saying, you know, we're really serious about this censorship thing. If we can't speak up and out about situations, and the only thing that you're going to do is cancel us, then hell, we might as well go for it. All right? We might as well go for it. And the people decided to act. All power to all of the people. Now you know what we mean? All power to all of the people. All right? The people have the power. All right? And so the people actually made it happen, and Jimmy Kimmel was working his way back. All right? So when I say U-turn, listen to this, and then we'll talk about it in 1 second.
Connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Erica Kirk has deep connections to Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and the State of Israel. The supposed grieving wife and mother is going to be taking over Turning Point USA. So here's some facts about her that I think the public has a right to know and that nobody else is reporting on. Around 2009 to 2010, even though Erica had never modeled before or participated in a beauty pageant, she received an invitation in the mail to participate in the Miss USA beauty pageants, which were owned by Donald Trump. In 2012, she won the Miss Arizona competition. And at the same time, according to her website, she was also a casting director at the same time she was modeling for Trump. In 2006, she started a ministry when she was just 17 years old. This ministry was working with the U.S. military in Romania at the same time she claimed to be working as a casting director. The area in Romania where Erica was operating her ministry out of had a ton of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and trafficking them out of the country. These children were being found in Israel, the UK, and undisclosed private islands. The locals demanded that the authorities look into this, and shocker, they never did.
but her ministry was kicked out of Romania. In 2018, 2 years after Donald Trump started working with Charlie Kirk, Erica and Charlie were introduced to one another after one of their mutual friends suggested that Charlie should hire her to work for Turning Point. So at Erica's job interview with Charlie, Erica allegedly said, "You're not going to be my boss. You're going to be my boyfriend." So they began dating. I think it's safe to assume that this mutual friend was Donald Trump, because Erica was already one of his employees, so it would make sense for his team to encourage this. Beauty pageants are a well-known gateway for human trafficking. So with her being a casting director, her ministry, working with the military in Romania and being asked to leave, along with her very strange behavior of capitalizing on the death of her husband, I think this should be of immense concern to us all. Random people do not get propped up by the mainstream media out of nowhere. That includes Charlie Kirk, whose father had deep connections to Donald Trump even before he started working with Charlie Kirk. All of these people that you see on TV run in the same circles, and anybody with ties to human trafficking should not be trusted. So comment below and let me know, did you know about her ties to Trump and the beauty pageants and this ministry that she operated in Romania? Let's chat about this. Erica Kirk has deep...
Interesting to say the least. So when you start talking about these things and you just repeat the things, like a lot of people have repeated some things and have lost their jobs and getting canceled and all this other kind of stuff for free speech, then you have to start looking at what is actually free. What's the free speech? If all you're doing is regurgitating and you're repeating some of the things that other people have said. All right. Okay. So if that's the case, if we're repeating what someone else has said, like, for example, some people are actually just repeating what Captain Kirk has said. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And they're losing their jobs. And you have a certain kind of assessment of what this individual said, and you lose a whole late night talk show behind it. You lose a whole late night talk show behind it. That's sad. Listen to what this one gentleman said, Dan Murrell, has said about Jimmy Kimmel. Shout out to Dan. I don't know you, Dan. You probably don't know me. But yeah, let's make it happen, Dan. Hold on, Dan. All right, looks like we got to shut it off and we got to turn it back on. Oh, damn, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to shut it down. Shut it down. All right, we're going to move on. I'll let that reboot and let's play it. Let's go.
Night television, which has already been turbulent in recent weeks, was rocked again last week with the news that Jimmy Kimmel Live was being suspended from airing on ABC. Immediately following the announcement of Kimmel's suspension, many people, including the President of the United States, prematurely announced that Kimmel had been fired, which was not technically accurate. ABC announced last Wednesday that Jimmy Kimmel Live was suspended indefinitely after comments he made during last Monday's opening monologue regarding the man charged with the murder of Charlie Kirk. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr specified exactly which remarks Kimmel made that he found objectionable, so I'm going to present what Kimmel said here purely to provide context for the rest of the story.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Industry reporting said that Kimmel planned to address those remarks on last Wednesday's show, clarifying that he was not saying that the shooter was part of the MAGA movement, but that many were trying to label him as anything other than being part of the MAGA movement. However, following statements from the head of the FCC and several affiliates dropping Kimmel's show, Disney reportedly made the decision to suspend Kimmel, partially to prevent being forced to cancel his show altogether, should his statements on Wednesday make the situation worse. So there's actually a timeline to how all of this unfolded last week. First, on last Wednesday, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr appeared on a podcast hosted by Benny Johnson, a close ally of Charlie Kirk's, who expressed outrage at Kimmel's comments and stated his desire and the desire of others for the FCC to take action against Kimmel and ABC based on policies regarding news distortion and government regulations that any entity granted a public broadcast license must serve the public interest.
And with that said, the actual FCC actually says there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters. And frankly, I think that is really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we, the licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocation from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion. Well, you've always had news distortion. What do you mean? You've always lied in the news. You always made up stuff, especially about black people. All right? So if we continue to run the content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion, it's time for them to step up and say that this garbage isn't something that we think serves the needs of our local communities. And the madness that you push on us serves the needs of the local communities. What part of the news? Now, this is what the FCC chair, Brendan Carr's remarks on, not just this, the Benny, on the Benny show, but just overall, these people have always lied. Always made up stuff. So now all of a sudden, but because there's a monkey wrench being thrown, hold on. Because now that there's a monkey wrench being thrown in the overall plan of what y'all wanted to pull off in reference to Captain Kirk, now people are pulling the cover off of it. And mind you, I haven't shown one black person yet. All right. Now that the cover is being pulled off of it, now that you figure out the guy behind the pewing, all right, was white, all of a sudden now you're changing your tune. Now that the white conspiracy theorists are stepping up to the plate, debunking the whole lie that you told in reference to y'all taking this guy down. Now it's a gigantic, big issue. And you want to distract people with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Oh, okay. I got you. See, once you press the pause button, you pull back, you widen your lens and your scope, then and only then you could say, oh, okay, I got it. Let me start connecting some of the dots. Because the conspiratorial view of this whole thing is not wrong. But you don't find a lot of black people giving that. You have a lot of black people that are coming on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and other places pushing back on the racist rhetoric of Captain Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? But when you start finding them other people debunking what them other people have said and giving it to you through a conspiratorial lens, then you have to say, oh, okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Learn why all the Katies were
Here we
crying
go.
over Kirk. Last week, we learned why all the Katies were crying over Kirk. And this week, are you left even more confused why the entire executive branch sat front row for this weird pyrotechnics, righteous gemstone-esque political rally / funeral last night? Yeah, that's because for a lot of people, last week was the first time they had ever heard of Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA. So it's time for everyone to understand.
Did I not say that on my show Monday? Black people are crying crocodile tears, and you never even heard of this man. Not to mention, take what he said and put it under a microscope and piece it apart. All right?
what this organization does and how much power and influence they hold. Because if we're going to do something to counteract that on the left, we need to understand that this C3, C4 super PAC was much more than a folding table and a pop-up tent on college campuses. CPUSA was founded by Kirk in 2012. It's a very powerful media company with very wealthy investors, except the investors never wanted to make any money. They were investing in the currency of changing people's hearts and minds, and they were investing hard. From 2017 to 2022, Kirk went from raising about $8 million a year to support the organization's efforts to more than $80 million a year. And if you put that in context, an organization like Everytown in the last 7 years, they've raised about $50 million a year, and they spend the majority of that money on candidates. They give to campaigns. Turning Point doesn't do that. They gave Carrie Lake like $5,000 and that's it. So what the hell did these people spend $100 million on last year? That's a lot of folding tables. That's a lot of free MAGA hats for frat bros. They spent it dominating the online media space. They spent it paying influencers, big and small, of all genders and races, with one simple goal: make people watch content on the internet and then figure out how to make them angry and scared and motivated to go to the voting booth and vote red. By 2020, Turning Point had this influencer ambassador program with over 300 creators in it, and they grew.
Influencer ambassador. Write that down. Then we're going to start to figure out who are all the influencer ambassadors. They get paid to go on and say some of the things that they say. This is why 2 weeks ago, some of y'all came at me kind of hard when I started talking about this black tampon that was coming on talking disparagingly against black people. And we had to check her silly young ass. You understand what I'm saying? And then y'all came at me. No, the heifer needed to be checked hard. You understand what I'm saying? But you have some people riding for her, like ride or die for her. You understand what I'm saying? Because she's been brainwashed. But these kind of people are paid to do what they do. And they're paid well. All right?
Every year exponentially. Kirk developed thousands of creators. He helped them get access to politicians. He paid them handsomely for the time they spent creating content. He threw conferences for them, and he did it all with money from just a handful of billionaires who saw his vision. Because his pitch was basically this: hey, unlike traditional media, the social and digital media space has no requirements to be fair and balanced. So you, the conservative donor class, can systematically build and fund an alternative media ecosystem that will be always on, ever increasing, and like a megaphone that gets people to elect the politicians you need to give you tax breaks and looser corporate restrictions. And that ecosystem did its job in 2024. They saw a big return on investment, and JD Vance acknowledged that last night at his funeral when he said,
our whole administration is here, but not just because we love Charlie as a friend, even though we did, but because we know we wouldn't be here without him. Charlie built an organization that reshaped the balance of our politics.
and that, my friends, is Turning Point USA. And in the next part, we'll
That's
talk
it.
about who on the left is fighting
That's
back
it.
and how you can help. Last week, crying over.
If he shaped and helped reshape the balance of their political movement, yeah. So now let's look deeper into who would benefit from me. No one should die over words. Did Dr. Martin Luther King speak words, non-violent words? And did they not take them out? Malcolm X spoke words. Medgar Evers spoke words. Fred Hampton Sr. spoke words. Words. The person that you fall down crying, hooping and hollering in church every Sunday spoke words. and they nailed them. Words. WORDS. Words without really doing shit. Words. Words. I could run down a list of people that white people have taken out because of words. So who's this message for, Miss Magic? Now watch the language of racism, white supremacy, and how it plays out. Nobody should die. Are we killing people over words? Are we assassinating global leaders? Are we assassinating people of movements over words? Who was the one killing people over words? John Lennon, after coming off half of his drug-induced career, was sober and speaking the truth. John Lennon, go do the research. And they sent a Manchurian candidate his way to kill him over words. Who is killing who over words? Someone said, well, black people are killing black people every day in the hood over words. I think that has a little bit more to do than just words. Nah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, nah. Yeah, I'd like to see a few people, not only based on their words, but based on their deeds. You understand? For real. I may not want to extinguish their life, but I need to talk to them. But yeah. All right. Let me play this for you. Put it on repeat, I guess. I don't know.
Breaking news on Jimmy Kimmel and autism.
Jimmy Kimmel coming back to late night television.
ABC chose to bring back their low rating nighttime host.
We are in for a monologue that will be a marker in late night show history.
It's going to be a moment. Yeah, no question. A huge moment in American history.
It's one of the most pivotal moments in broadcast history.
He will be delivering what is being dubbed the most anticipated monologue in late night in years.
Revolution. Change? Yeah.
From Hollywood, it's Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yeah. What you saw the other day in reference to this ceremony, ritual, human energy harvesting, yeah, it was a stage show, a performance. But most of y'all didn't get that. All right, since you didn't get it, I got you.
My God, can we stop with the bullshit of this CK, his wife, this whole production? Do you people not get what you're looking at here? I grew up in the times of Barnum and Bailey, okay? Before people could afford Universal or Disneyland, an actual fucking circus would roll into town to hypnotize the masses. Look at what you're watching. You have Netanyahu with the whip as the ringleader, that orange stain running around in circles, distracting everybody. The bedazzled sequin trapeze artist who is his wife. What the fuck was that? Okay? Since when do widows look like they just came back from a 7-day spa vacation? Okay, from the Four Seasons. Roots done Manny eyelashes in case anybody, actually sees a tear, it'll catch them. Not to mention, what the fuck was this fucking satanic symbol? Because I haven't seen that since a fucking Ozzy Osbourne concert. There you go. All roads probably lead back to that counterfeit country with her as well. You people better wake the fuck up. I did stand up for 30 years, so I absolutely know a production. I absolutely know a carnival. You motherfucking MAGA are being hypnotized. My God, can we stop with the bullshit of this?
Wow, that was a white woman. But hey, regardless of what complexion she came in, she told the truth. And I think that's all we're trying to do. Like my comment right here from the Red Cat Up Rock. Mr. or Mrs. Red Cat Uprock. Black people are not rallying around Jimmy Kimmel. We're rallying around the bigger issue, which I think you failed to see. The bigger issue is censorship. We're being censored. That's what people are rallying around, Mr. or Mrs. Red Cat. I don't know if that's your cat or your cat. Not sure. But if it's your cat, then you might want to take care of that. I don't know. Baby wipes, tampon, fucking a wet towel, a wet wipe, or I think I have some tissue for you or something, or whatever the fuck. But yeah, it's the censorship issue. We don't even fucking like Jimmy Kimmel. Like, I've never really sat there with Jimmy Kimmel, absolutely nothing. I don't, yeah. Matter of fact, neither one of them characters do I. Captain Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel, none of them fuckers. I like, okay, yeah, nope. So, Mr. or Mrs. Red Cat Uprock, sorry, no. We're not rallying. We're not in the street protesting with signs. Bring Kimmel back. Bring Kimmel. But we're not doing that. So I don't know where you're. Yeah, fuck out of here with that. That's all I could say. It's like, yeah. Don't know what to tell you. Anyway, last but not least. Yeah, last but not least.
Nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength.
Let me set this up. This was from the demonic satanic ritual that they went over the other day, calling it a homegoing ceremony, calling it a funeral, calling it a whatever the fuck they was calling it. Selling merchandise, though, at a funeral. Family, do me a favor, please. My wife already know. I got some people that are close to me. I told them also. My sisters already know. Children might know. I'm not saying. But don't sell merchandise at my funeral. Most of y'all won't even be there anyway. But no, don't do that. Merchandise at a funeral? You're selling merchandise at a funeral. This is Stephen Miller. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Stephen Miller. If you don't know who this individual is, it would behoove you, if you're going to understand what's going on in the world of politics in America with the Democrats and the Republicans. All right, if you're going to understand anything, please know and understand. You have to know who this individual is and what he's about. This sister kind of lays it out.
You leave behind nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now.
This was a mistake. Stephen Miller used to be the monster under the bed, the boogeyman, if you will. They used to keep him behind closed doors, writing speeches, cleverly dismantling your civil rights without you knowing who was behind it. But Miller's ego has become so inflated that he's miscalculated his appeal. Because he's everyone's boss at DHS and ICE, he has confused that for likability, and therefore he has made himself a liability. He exposed himself as hateful and singularly cringe on a global scale on Sunday. Understand that most people don't know who he is or what he does in our government. He is in charge. Trump is in the Truman Show. Stephen Miller writes the scripts. The power, the policy, the White House is all contained in this small, angry, dysregulated entity. Having a tic disorder does not make someone evil, but introducing evil and anger exacerbates any underlying condition. He does not build, he destroys. He does not have beauty or light. But just like Nosferatu, Stephen Miller is so preoccupied with satisfying his appetite for destruction that he forgets that exposure to the light will bring about his own end.
And what will you leave behind? Nothing. Nothing.
I wonder who Stephen Miller was talking to. The left or you? We already went over show after show after show what it means by being on the left side of the aisle and the right side of the aisle. Hold on. I had something up, but what happened to it? I need you to write this name down. Can y'all look it up real quick for me, real quick? Can someone write this in the chat? John Swinton. John, last name Swinton. Swinton. John Swinton. All right. And it's a quote from John Swinton, former managing editor of the New York Times and the New York Sun. All right. The Business of Journalism. John Swinton. Can y'all do me that favor, please? All right. So we're all on the same page. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. The business of journalism is to destroy the truth. John Swinton. Matter of fact, you could put in John Swinton, and then you could put in the quote, "We are intellectual prostitutes." And the quote, the whole entire quote, should come up. It says the business of journalists is to destroy the truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of mammon, and to sell his country and his race for his daily bread. You know it, and I know it. And what folly is this toasting and an independent press? We are the tools and the vessels of rich men behind the scenes. We are the jumping jacks. They pull the strings and we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are all but property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes. John Swinton, former managing editor of the New York Times and the New York Sun. Intellectual prostitutes. Thank you, Dora L. Intellectual prostitutes. But now with the advent of the internet, and average people are coming and stepping up to the plate and giving us a minute here, 2 minutes there, 30-second captions here, and different things, and adding the missing pieces to the puzzle, it's hard for them to get over the line now. So when you start to look at Erica Kirk, this damsel in distress, but because of the thick makeup, can't get a decent tear out of her despicable eyes. Talking about she forgive the killer of her husband. Do you? Once you really find out who was the one that took him out, will you forgive them? Yeah, I guess to the tune of millions and millions and millions of dollars. Wow. Are y'all seeing the history that's coming out about this woman? About our charities and our foundations and clubs and different things in Romania dealing with trafficking, and yeah. Tamira Brackens, thank you very much, sis. Dora L, thank you very much. So family, we have to know and understand and be very mindful and put these pieces back together. What is the real reason why you think they're bringing the Jimmy Kimmel show back? Matter of fact, I'm putting the invitation in the chat. We do have a few minutes to chat. Azar Kwazim said complete separation is the only intelligent answer. They are not going to change. Some of our people suffer from Stockholm syndrome. True indeed. I tell all of those people that constantly, like Officer Tatum and these people that constantly speak against black people, go marry you a white woman and go live happily ever after. Just leave us alone. That's all we ask. Well, Ms. Brackens, I know how to explain it. The almost $1 billion, $4 billion, they said they would have lost in a few weeks. That's number one. Number two, people are just not going for it anymore. It's too much to lose. And at the same time, you have other people with stake in those particular companies letting them know that's a bad move. Marvel is leaving Atlanta. Did y'all know that Marvel Studios is leaving Atlanta? You're talking 20,000 jobs. Thousands and thousands of jobs were already lost a month ago when the white woman called ICE on the Hyundai factory. South Korea sent a couple of planes to the United States to bring their people home. This is more. You're going to the UK? And what do you mean? Oh, yeah, you're right. You're talking about Disney is going to the UK, or you're going to the UK. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Oh, it's clearer now. I got you. Need to know says, yes, Marvel is going to the UK. I got it. I understand it now. It's clearer. You see how that works, Ms. Moore? Don't have me call your husband, have him take his belt off. All right. I'm just saying. That you could be right. Charles Malcolm from Chicago basically said it could be a breach of contract because nothing in what Jimmy Kimmel said was controversial. Like what was so controversial about what he said? I don't get it. All right, I'm gonna look that book up, Dorval. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up right now as we speak. The Hidden Evil Financial Elite. The Hidden Illegal Financial. It's a hell of a title. Elite. Mark Rich. Amazon. The Hidden Evil. The Hidden Evil, the financial elite's covert war against civilian population. Okay, read more. Provides a compelling evidence that wealthy Satanist psychopaths are waging a covert war right in your neighborhoods as they establish a global dictatorship known as the New World Order. Thank you, Dorval. Let me ask you something, Dorval. What does that have to do with the deep state? All right. So is there infighting going on? Deep state versus who? Left versus right? Right and left versus the deep state? Is the deep state controlling both of them? How does it work? Get the people to understand it. And then what does this have to do with black people? That's my question. That's one of my questions. I just want to know. What does this have to do with us? Because I seen a couple of black people spazzing the hell out, man. Like, for real. Like, spazzing out. Like, yeah. Yeah. Help me out. Thank you very much. SS Red _ The deep state is controlling both parties. Deep state is controlling both parties. I'm going to say that again in English. One second, fam. Let me figure something out here. Hold on. All right. This Sunday. All right. This Sunday. What do y'all think is more important? Because I have two things. I have two things in the chamber, ready to move on them. Would a beautiful writing class be cool? Or something I think is very important right now that we should kind of look at? A preparedness class, a readiness class, giving emphasis to a certain mindset. What do y'all think? Readiness, preparedness, songwriters class, or a music business 101 class? I think the music business 101 and writing thing should be, I think we need readiness. I think we need preparedness, because I think I need to kind of lay some things out to everyone on what's coming down the pipe and what you should be doing to get ready for these things. Because some of y'all have a gut feeling. Some of y'all have a gut feeling deep down inside. Y'all know something's about to pop off. Y'all just don't know what or when. But in any event, you're not prepared. Dorf L, it'd be cool to combine the music 101 thing with the songwriting thing, but the readiness, preparedness, I think it'll be better. I think we need to, I need to take my trigonology class along with load and make ready class, along with developing urban tactical mindset, along with the other classes that I give on readiness. And I think we need to talk about readiness, because yeah, readiness and preparation class, man. The average person needs to know, yeah, you truly need to start, going to the dollar store and other places where you could go and start putting your bug in and bug out bag together. If you don't even know what a bug in or bug out bag is, then you need to be in the class. All right. I'm going to make it real affordable for everyone to get in. All right. So let me put this. Hold on. Let me do this. All right. What's today? I think I could come on tonight. I could send an email out. If you're not on my email list, email me at Serious Minds Info. Hold on. Serious Minds Info at Gmail. Email me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. Serious is SIRIUS. SIRIUS minds, MINDZ, info@gmail.com. Or text me. I'll send you a flyer as soon as it's done tonight. If you want to get into class. All right. I think we need to go with the ready and preparedness. All right. Yeah, for example, basic first aid. All right. Basic hardware tools. You know what hardware tools I'm talking about. All right. Whether it's 945 ACP, whether it's 12 gauge, 20 gauge, whether it's 223, 556, whether it's 300 blackout, 762, 57, whatever that thing that you got. All right. Backpack. How to protect yourself from the environment, the weather. All right. Whether you're bugging in or bugging out. How long do you bug in? All right. Who's in your circle? How do you move? How do you transport your elderly, your cat, your dog, your ailing, sick husband or wife, the ones that can't walk, the ones in wheelchairs? We need to know all of that. All right. What's going to happen when the shit hit the fan? All right. These things you need to know. Am I correct? These things you need to know. Let me tell you something. People keep sending me stuff about how these people are out in the woods and other places and on mountains and all that other places training. Well, if they're training, what the hell are they training for? And what do you think they're training for? Let's stop being stupid. Yeah, readiness and preparedness. I think that should be the thing. Should be the talk. That should be the talk this Sunday at 7 o'clock. Would y'all agree? After dinner, after you watch the football game, after all of that stuff, ripping and running, after you done went to church 3 times on Sunday, you need to say, okay, I got to sit and listen to what this brother has to say. All right? Because I need to make a list. All right? Matter of fact, I could do one better. What if I prepared a PDF of the things that you need, all right, to know in that PDF file, all right, in case you miss Sunday? Wouldn't that be okay? So then even if you took the class, it would be cool that you took it and be present for it, all right? I could prepare the PDF, and we have to just trust people that if you pay the money for the class, don't share the PDF. Have the people come to the class and get it firsthand, because we're going to give some instructions on what to do with the things in the PDF. All right. So you can't go wrong and you can't lose however you go. All right. Somebody give me an idea, Miss Moore, what price tag should I put on that class? 2-hour class, 90 minutes, and then we can do a Q&A. Talk to me. Okay, need to know. I got you. All right, salute. What should be in that? What's the price tag on that? Someone said 40, someone said 50. I tell you what. Let's put it right. Let's put it right in the middle. Can we do that? Is that cool with everyone? I think the number 44 is a good gateway, good portal. All right. You came into class, you got the PDF, you got the instructions. You understand what I'm saying? You got the step-by-step instruction. All right. Thank you, Dorf L. That's what I'm talking about. Really appreciate you. Miss LP, what's going on? Yeah, I don't feel good about that 44. Let's bring it down. 36 is a good number. Coincides with the number 9 on my ring finger. All right. Let's do 36. All right. Let's do 36. I'll create the flyer. I'll send it out. I'm going to come back on live tonight. I'll have the flyer already done up. I'll give an idea of what we're going to go over in the class. Sunday, we'll make it happen. Is that cool with everyone? Cool. Listen, I'm only one individual calling other people to assist to help me get this body of information out to the people. All right, not a money grab. That's definitely not a money grab. $36 is not, trust me, that's not a money grab. All right, I have the information. All right, let's get it out to our people, because all those that know. Everyone that don't know, it might be an issue. I want everyone to know, because I am telling you, and mark my words, it's not a question of if, but when it's going down. On whatever scale it goes down on, it's going down. You should be prepared. All right. Let me put my email address back on the screen. All right. That's my email address, seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. Email me if you want me to put you on the list. I'll create the flyer. I'll create the link. I don't know. PayPal. Those of y'all that don't have PayPal, I'll give y'all instructions how to do Cash App. Let's make it happen. All right. Take this part of the talk, send it out to some people, get them in the class, and let's make it happen. Because I know, all right, that there's some information just in reference to what Larry Penton has given us and Doc has given us in reference to stop the bleed and first aid and this kind of thing. Just that alone, all right, we need that. All right. You're going to need at least an idea and some links on how you can enroll yourself in one of these online courses to learn how to defend yourself if you're not training every single day. And I think the goal that I had set for myself at 65 years old is be able to press my body weight. I'm a $150. If I can't pick up 150 pounds, it's a problem. All right. If you can't walk a mile with the average backpack with a first aid kit, some goodies in it, some extra mags, and some other stuff. All right, this probably 50 pounds or so. All right, if you can't walk a mile with a 50-pound backpack, it's a problem. How you talking about surviving this thing? All right, then can you survive? We're doing some hand-to-hand stuff with a 50-pound backpack on. Then walk a mile, set yourself up where you can at least hit something at 50 yards out, 100 yards out. Do you have the hardware to do that? Do you have the tools to do that? Do you have the know-how to do that? All right, take my email address down. Email me. This is my phone number. All right. I'm talking about developing an urban tactical mindset. Yes, thank you, Dorf L. We've checked out the billionaire bunkers. Yeah, they got elaborate bunkers. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. LP, sir. Safety, training, education, and legal protection. All right. I ran into someone the other day, and I was just kind of good brother. Don't get me wrong. If he's watching, no disrespect to you, having a conversation, the brother was saying that, that 5.7 round is over penetration. Anyone know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. in a time of war, ain't no such thing as over penetration, man. What you talk about? Anything beyond that, it's collateral damage. That's why I said you need the know-how. Over penetration. No. No. All right. Anything else, Sam? What time is it? Oh, I'm 6 minutes past my time. All right. I love you all to life yet once again. All right. So I should be coming back on Friday. Matter of fact, I will be coming back on Friday.